Are you ready for some pasta with pizzazz? Well, any night of the week is the perfect night to serve pasta recipes. Please join me for my very favorite jazzy vegetarian pasta-licious recipes.
Jazzy, you're gonna be healthy with the jazzy vegetarian. Jazzy, so snazzy. We're gonna cook something healthy and light. Jazzy, so snazzy.
So join me in the kitchen right now.
We're gonna cook something healthy and light. That's right.
Pasta comes in all shapes and sizes and even colors. And today I'm going to use some of my very favorites, starting with my easy peanut noodles. And then next, penne with garbanzo beans and broccoli rabe prepares quickly, but it's packed with jazzy flavor. And then a surprise choice for our noodles is showcased in pea and white bean Puttanesca, followed by arugula, artichoke, and tomato pasta, which features a no-cook sauce, a breeze to serve for a fabulous summertime meal. So the water's boiling, we're ready to cook the pasta, and let's get cooking. I love pasta. I love pasta in all shapes and sizes and colors. My real go-to pasta is organic whole wheat penne. I love the whole wheat variety. It has a nice bite to it, so give that a try, and we're going to be using that in one of my recipes later today. And then I love colorful pastas. This is a rotini or fusilli pasta. Look at how pretty this is. And I've got this in the 4 colors here, which is nice. And then I have my rotini or fusilli over here in the organic whole wheat variety. The great thing about rotini or fusilli is when you cook that, any sauce kind of gets into those crevices. So every bite you get that fabulous sauce along with that wonderful pasta. It's really a great taste sensation. Now here is our regular spaghetti. This is a thin spaghetti. And these are soba noodles, and they are based in buckwheat flour. And soba noodles really add a different texture to your pasta recipes. That's what I'm going to use today. We're going to be using this later on. I'm going to be doing a little surprise dish with whole wheat lasagna noodles. Keep them in your cupboard as well. So let's go over to our first recipe now. We're going to be making my fabulous peanut noodles. I make them with soba noodles. Here's how we're going to get started. We're going to make our sauce. And I'm starting with 2 tablespoons of crunchy peanut butter, about 2 tablespoons of water. Then we have some cayenne, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder. Dump that right in. 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. I'm going to chop up 2 cloves of fresh garlic. So we're just going to mince our garlic up. There we go. And dump that right in there, because we're just going to whip this all together right now. There we go. I'm going to add that 1/3 tablespoon of water. Just going to finish it out with a fork. We're going to add our noodles a little bit at a time. They're very noodly, aren't they? Just keep tossing it together until you get the right consistency. And you want that sauce to just coat those noodles perfectly. So about 6 ounces of the soba noodles is what I've used with this much sauce today. So let me grab a serving bowl. That's what's so convenient about this, especially if you're entertaining. You can plate it all up in advance, have it in the refrigerator if you're serving them cold, like I'm serving them today. They're ready to go and just put out on your table. They're a great first course. They can be a nice main course for a cool summer salad. I've got some cucumber. I like to use about 1/2 of a large or medium cucumber. And you're just going to peel that. Alrighty, cut it right in half. You can just take a grapefruit spoon, the serrated edge, and just pop those seeds right out of there into your bowl. That's the easiest way to seed a cucumber. It's a little jazzy trick. Perfect. We're going to cut this into little julienne slices. That's really going to dress up this peanut noodle dish, just like that. Doesn't have to be too fancy. So every bite you get a crunch of this cool, crisp cucumber along with the delicious peanut noodles. So think about it that way. Look how pretty it's starting to make it already. And then just a little bit of scallion. Just in little rounds like this. You want to use the green and you want to use the white part of the scallion. Oh yeah, it's going to add a great pop of color and some wonderful taste. That is ready to go and ready to serve. Take a look at that. My fabulous peanut noodles. Now we're on to one of my favorite go-to pasta dishes. That's broccoli rabe with garbanzo beans. I love it. Originally, I learned how to make broccoli rabe from my friend Nino, who's from the town of Puglia in Italy. It's a real Italian-style dish. I'm so excited to pass it on to you now and actually put this in my cookbook because, of course, it's one of my favorites. I'm going to saute this broccoli rabe. Take your broccoli rabe, kind of line them up so those thick stalks are right there in the bottom. Do you see how I've got those stems all lined up? Because we don't want to cut off any of the good part. We're just going to take that, chop that right off. It's really very easy. And then toss it right in there. That's how you prepare it. Very easy. Okay, now what else am I going to put in this, you may ask? I'm using 4 cloves of garlic. And you want to keep some nice little chunks of that garlic. Don't mince it too fine. Just drop that over your broccoli rabe. I just put a little bit of olive oil right over the top. And then some nice crushed red pepper, about 1/8 to 1/4 of a teaspoon. Gives it a little zing. And then some sea salt. Then to keep it from burning on the bottom, you just want to add a little bit of spring or filtered water, about 1 tablespoon or 2 in the bottom. Kind of get that water distributed in the bottom. You can also use vegetable broth. Sometimes I use that, gives it a nice little flavor. Put the top on. Put it on a medium heat, and as soon as it starts sizzling, you're going to turn it down to medium-low. We're going to cook it for maybe 7 to 10 minutes, then we're going to add our garbanzo beans. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. Let me grab just a little bit of tamari. I want to give this a little extra taste. I like to put just a little touch over the top, not too much. That's just going to flavor that water a little bit and flavor that broccoli rabe. We've got our water boiling. We're using organic penne pasta. Let's get that to a rolling boil. You could also use a rice pasta, a gluten-free pasta, any kind of pasta you like, but I do love the penne with this, so you might want to give it a try if you like penne. So just toss that right in there. Give it a little stir. There we go. There it is. It's starting to come back up to a boil. Let me put on my timer to 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, we're going to have penne with garbanzo beans and broccoli rabe. Look how quickly that's starting to cook. That's happening really, really fast. We're going to toss in 1 can, 15 ounces of garbanzo beans or chickpeas. I've drained them. I've rinsed them. That's all you need to do. So we're going to let this cook for about 7 minutes. We're going to finish up our pasta, and we're going to plate up our penne with garbanzo beans and broccoli rabe. When I have guests over, this is how I like to serve it. Really family style. I'm going to put a little bit of fresh parsley over that before I do serve it. Look at how beautiful that is. Next up, we do have something just a little bit different. We got a little twist. We've got my pea with white bean Puttanesca. And instead of regular spaghetti, I'm going to use lasagna noodles. Stick around for that one. We're going to start off with making the sauce. And what I'd like to use here is some scallions. They add a great base to this sauce. And we're just going to slice them right up. That's all there is to it. I have 2 scallions, which I'm just going to use as a little base flavor in this sauce. I'm just going to turn my pan onto a medium heat, and I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of vegetable broth. That's going to help to flavor our sauce without adding any fat. When I'm making a marinara sauce like this, I often use vegetable broth instead of olive oil. Not only does it lower the fat, it heightens the flavor. And that's what you want to have in plant-based cooking. You want to have a lot of flavor going. That's just starting to sizzle, getting a little saute on that. Now let's add our seasonings. I've got 3 cloves of finely minced garlic, and I've got a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. That's going to go right in. And then a little bit of crushed red pepper, 1/4 to 1/2 of a teaspoon. I'm just going to put 1/4 in right now because I don't want too much heat in this tonight. I'm just going to toss this for about 30 seconds or so to get those flavors released. And as the vegetable broth starts to cook off at the bottom of the pan, just to add a little more, just about 1/2 of a tablespoon at a time. That's really going to get everything going. That smells so good. Releases those flavors right away. That's really fabulous. Perfect. And just going to let that cook, like I said, for about 30 seconds or so. We're going to turn that heat on medium. Now, what is our sauce going to be? Something really quick, really easy. Everything is something that you have in your cupboards. I'm going to use jarred marinara sauce, about 1 1/4 cups in this sauce. Let me just add that right in there. I have 1 cup of cooked white beans. I use the canned variety. I've drained them and I've rinsed them. It's fabulous. And then I'm using about 1 1/2 cups of frozen peas. I like the organic variety. Give this all a stir. That's great. What a beautiful color this is. And then to make this the Puttanesca, we've got capers. They add such great flavor. They're kind of salty tasting. They're kind of a cross between a green olive and a black olive. And then it just has kind of a tangy aftertaste. And I'm adding 2 tablespoons of capers that I've drained and rinsed. And that is the whole sauce. Could that be any more beautiful? I don't think so. That is so colorful and so pretty. Put the top on very tightly and just get this to simmer for about 8 to 15 minutes, and all the flavors are going to come together. When I really want to jazz it up a little bit and make it very, very festive, I use lasagna noodles. They kind of taste like homemade noodles. I remember when I was a little girl, my great aunt, she would come to visit. I would come down in the morning and she would have this big, thick, dried pasta that she was working on. It was all drying out all over the kitchen. And that's what this reminds me of. You're going to see it's a really, really great idea. What you want to start off with is about 8 ounces of whole wheat or whole grain lasagna noodles. You can find those in just about any supermarket these days. And here's the only thing you have to do. Since you don't want these big blobs of lasagna noodles, you just want to break them in half and put them all over the floor. Not like that. Just one at a time. Break them at half and stick them in the water. Give it a toss. And these cook for about 7 to 9 minutes. You want to make sure that they're done al dente. I can smell that sauce. The lasagna noodles are almost ready, and I'm getting really, really excited for my pasta with Pizazz. Take a look at this. I'm going to unveil. Isn't that beautiful? Look at those colors. It's just kind of simmering a little bit, and that smell coming up from that garlic and those capers and that marinara sauce is absolutely fantastic. All right, this is how we're going to finish it out. I'm going to bring my pan right over to where my lasagna noodles are cooking. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put the lasagna noodles right into this sauce. Just put that right in there. Just that little bit of water that's sticking to the pasta is going to really help it. So that sauce just thickens up perfectly and covers these noodles. See, don't they kind of look like homemade noodles? Kind of like my great aunt used to make. It would never look absolutely perfect, and that's what's so appetizing about doing it this way. Now we're just going to give that a toss. All right, I've got a beautiful bowl. This is also really nice served family style. I'm doing everything family style tonight. Just toss that right in your serving bowl. There you go. Ooh, get those beautiful peas over the top. Whew. Isn't that just so beautiful? And next up, my arugula, artichoke, and tomato pasta. Good. A lot of people ask me, what do you use if you can't use Parmesan cheese? So what I have here is 1/3 cup of pumpkin seeds. Just toss them in your blender and then let her rip. That is how quick it is. I serve this up just like Parmesan cheese, and you can pass it around the table. See, there you go. Perfect texture, some nice nutrition. So that's Parmesan cheese option number 1. Now, number 2 is walnuts. A little bit of a different texture, a little bit of a different taste. And I have 1/3 cup of walnuts. Toss them in your blender and let it go. Beautiful. There you have your walnut Parmesan cheese. And the third option is toasted wheat germ. Adds a nice little bit of texture, and when the wheat germ gets kind of moistened, it really has the consistency of Parmesan cheese. Our 3 different options for Parmesan cheese. Let's get on to our next recipe.
Arugula and artichoke and tomato pasta.
I just love this pasta. This is one of the first no-cook sauces that I ever created. So what I've done is I've chopped 2 ripe tomatoes. You're just going to toss everything right into a big bowl. And I'm going to use 1 clove of garlic. We want to make sure and mince that garlic really, really fine. It really adds just a wonderful, wonderful flavor to this no-cook pasta sauce. And then I like to use 1 teaspoon of dried Italian herbs, about 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. Toss that right in. And then a little bit of freshly ground pepper. And then I'm going to toss a little bit of olive oil right in here. You just want to toss these tomatoes and these herbs and this garlic, and that garlic really starts to marry into those tomatoes, and it really adds a great flavor. Now, I've got my pasta water boiling. Let me put my pretty bowl out of the way. And I'm going to be using some fusilli pasta tonight, so just dump that right in there. This is going to cook for about 8 minutes. I'm going to add a whole bunch of fresh basil into this dish today. So I've got the large leaves on the bottom, and then I'm just going to roll them up very tightly, almost like you would a cigar. Do you see how that is? Then you can just cut it straight across, and that quickly does a little kind of chiffonade on it. Toss it over the top. Do you see how we're layering these colors? This is such a beautiful, colorful pasta. I'm going to add fresh arugula. And you can either use the larger arugula and chop it up, or you can use the baby arugula, and that's what I have here. A little arugula plant, isn't that cute? I love growing arugula out on my back deck in the summer. I grow so many herbs outside. It's a really great thing to do. It's really easy, cost efficient. But today, of course, I've used arugula in our arugula and tomato and artichoke pasta. It's really great to use in salads. It adds a little spice. It adds a little bite. So think about arugula. And if you have a little place on your back deck, throw some arugula plants in some pots, and you'll have arugula for a little while during the summertime to use fresh every day. I just love it. So let's get back to cooking our pastas with pizzazz. And I'm just going to put my baby arugula right over the top. Just a little touch more olive oil. And right at the end, I am adding artichoke hearts. These are marinated artichoke hearts. I've just drained them and chopped them up. Really adds great flavor. I think this is all done. Let's get this out. Go and drain it. And then quickly, we're going to get that hot, hot pasta. And then quickly, you're going to pour that right over the top of your arugula. And that's what's going to cook this dish. Ooh, that's steamy. Steamy hot. Hot, steamy pasta. There you go. Look at that. See, as I'm tossing this, it's starting to wilt the arugula, and that's what's really making our sauce. And as you can see, our arugula is all wilted now. Oh, and by the way, second day, if you chill this overnight, it makes a great pasta salad. So it's great warm, like I'm going to serve it right now, but the next day, just chill it overnight, and you've got a wonderful pasta salad for lunch. So it's really a two-purpose kind of meal. At the last minute, we're going to put these artichoke hearts in. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Look how pretty that is. Now let's get that into our pretty bowl and get ready to serve, because as I said, I'm serving family style tonight. You eat with your eyes first, don't you? When you see something that looks absolutely fabulous, you want to eat it. And then when you taste it and it tastes absolutely fabulous, that is the greatest reward. Food that looks good, tastes good, smells good, and is good. My fantastic arugula, artichoke, and tomato pasta. Now I'm going to serve up my fabulous pasta-licious meal, and I'm going to taste it for you. And now I'm going to give it a taste. Good. First, I'm going to go to our arugula, artichoke, and tomato pasta. Get a little bit of that artichoke and that arugula in there. Nice little bite. I just love that one. Just a fresh pop of summer flavors. That is so good. And then my staple, I call it, my penne with garbanzo beans and broccoli rabe. Let me just cut myself a little piece of that. But I do want to get one of those garbanzo beans, a little bit of that broccoli rabe, and that penne in this bite. I just love that. Now, for our pea and our white bean puttanesca with our lasagna noodles. That kind of makes it look and taste like homemade. But this whole dish only takes about 25 minutes to make. A little bit of the peas, a little bit of the white beans, and one of those fabulous noodles. Wow. The peas and the beans, they have kind of really a soft, almost creamy-ish kind of texture, and those noodles almost taste like homemade, and that really nice spiced up sauce that we made from that sauce that we took out of a jar. Who knew? And then last but not least, our cold peanut noodles with our peanut butter. Really, really quick one. And our soba noodles. I get a cucumber with every bite to give it a little crunch. Wow. Oh my goodness. That just tastes absolutely authentic. I'd like to thank you all for joining me today. I had such a great time making these pasta-licious recipes for you. So the next time you're looking for pasta with pizzazz recipes, I hope you'll make the recipes that I prepared for you on today's show. So until next time, be happy, be healthy, and be well. From the Jazzy Vegetarian.
Visit our website at jazzyvegetarian.com to connect with Laura, see videos, find your favorite recipes, and more. Follow Laura on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Laura Theodore's Jazzy Vegetarian Classics features recipes from this series, and it's available for $26.95. Jazzy Vegetarian, a collection of favorite recipes, is available for $24.95. A set of both cookbooks is available for $44.95. For information or to order, visit jazzyvegetarian.com.
Organic love, 100% natural. Yes, it is now. Organic love. I've got no additives or no preservatives. It's real intuitive. It's downright primitive. Organic love is 100% natural. Yes, it is now.